I have a feeling, pretty strong feeling, that there are a lot of us who call ourselves Christians, who are followers of Christ, who have lived under this dynamic in our lives where we were continuously expected to do things a certain way and to show up a certain way. But what happened with those expectations is not something that actually drew us closer to God. It drew us farther apart from God. Even though God does have things that he asks of us and things that are clearly honoring to him, there are messages that we can send to one another that actually take us farther away from him. And when we think we're doing it to honor God, we end up relying more on ourselves, which doesn't honor God. Welcome to the series of Oh, the Things We Say, Christian phrases that keep us stuck, hidden, and hurting. This particular video is about a series of phrases that start with, you just need to. You just need to pray. You just need to pray more. You just need to trust God. You just need to let go. You just need to stop thinking about all those bad thoughts. You just need to start believing the true thoughts. You need to just this, that, and the other thing. I'm exhausted even just hearing that. There is so much that is happening in different ways that message comes across, which really isn't about this combination that God has, which is grace and truth, love and truth mixed together. So there are true things about God's attributes, about what God designed to be beneficial for us because they are the part of his design, beneficial for us being able to experience more of him. And in that, there are things that we do, but it's not about doing for the sake of just somehow getting better or just somehow bypassing the emotions and the thoughts that are real, the experiences that are valid that we've actually had. So let's step back and look at some of these phrases and the way they come across and how they can actually be damaging. They can restrict our lives from actually experiencing the beauty of what God has as a result of obeying him and trusting him. The beauty that God has as a result of loving and receiving his love for each one of us. That is a big kicker, because one of the things that happens with this series of messages, you just need to, is that self-reliance aspect, which is keeping us from actually knowing that rest and just being held by God, helping our bodies and our brains and our minds actually experience that felt experience with God of being held and loved, comforted in those moments when we're not having any energy or desire even to do the things that we think we should be doing. It doesn't mean those things are bad things. And they're actually a lot of times can be really life-giving things. In context, however, it makes a big difference, especially when we hear these phrases. So let me give you a couple examples. So let's say you're in a small group situation at your church, community group, life group, whatever you call it, or you're having a conversation with someone in the hallway at church, somebody who you're both believers or maybe somebody's starting to believe, whatever the situation is, you're both believers to some extent. And that other person is telling you, man, I'm so frustrated today. I am hurting because this happened. Or they can't even verbalize what they're feeling, and they're expressing some emotionally expressing what they've experienced and the frustration they feel or the sadness and hurt that they feel. And maybe you've even heard this more than once. Maybe you've heard it several times. And the person who's hearing it, a lot of times what can happen is we don't know what to say, how to respond. We feel uncomfortable, especially when we don't have an answer, because it feels helpless when you don't have something to give to the other person. And sometimes we respond out of a desire to help that person, but a lot of times it's out of our own discomfort. Okay. So somebody is telling you these things and you're getting frustrated, let's say, about what they're saying or how often they're saying it, or the fact that they seem to show bitterness or they're showing resentment. That is not the main focus. That is not the main focus most of the time. Definitely, I think there are times when we have relationships with people that we need to, encourage them, and their pattern has gotten them into a situation that is devastating, but that's a different topic. But right now, in general, frequently when somebody is sharing this or they're getting stuck, that could be a trauma response. Their brain may have such a challenge accessing, their brain may have a challenge accessing the different words or integrating the story of what they've lived through into the narrative of what's possible and what's happening today. The way that integration happens includes new experiences, particularly with other people who are present with them. Presence is the concept of comforting one another, mourning with one another, and even getting angry. Like there's a word called attunement that's used a lot in the counseling world. And if you think of a musical instrument where you can have different notes that play at the same time, but when they're playing at the same time, they tune in together. Or when you're tuning an instrument, you kind of slide up, like I play the violin, so you might like turn the key to, well, it's been a while since I picked up my violin. You might turn the key to tighten the string, and it's bringing the note up to where it's supposed to be. But attunement is resonating and connecting with where that person is at, what their experience is. And when another person experiences that from you, it actually starts shaping things inside of them. Information alone only goes a lot of times right through, right over, right out the window. You may have noticed that. No matter how many times I say this, they don't do it, it doesn't stick, whatever. They need something different. And you can show them something different by how you remain present with them, how your body deals with your own discomfort, takes a breath. Tell me more about that. Getting interested in their experience, getting curious. If you don't understand, you don't understand. You do not have to have the answers. One of the things that can be most helpful for somebody is to actually hear, I don't know what to do. I don't know what the answer is, but I can listen to you as you're sharing this. And I understand how frustrating that could be. And I could understand how confusing that would be, or why you'd be angry. So this message that I'm talking about today, you just need to pray. You just need to pray more. You know what happens? Immediately, you've turned off that possibility of connection, of presence between you and the other person. You have cut off the way that God may want to work in their life to allow them to come back into a place where maybe they've walked away from prayer because they don't know that they could trust God anymore. And there's a lot of doubts and they're confused. Commanding it isn't God's message. It's not telling them this is just the thing that you need to do to fix it. Our fix it answers are not offering presence and space to grow and to heal and to be able to reconnect with themselves, with what's going on inside of them, to reconnect with other people, and to reconnect with God. Presence makes a big difference. So what ends up happening is when we hear these messages, the person who's receiving that message, and maybe this is your experience, maybe you're the one that's heard this message, you just need to pray more, trust God, let go, let God, forgive, forget. You just need to stop holding on to bitterness and resentment. That's a whole other topic. Well, the truth is you probably have another need. And what's really common is people don't even know what they need. What they actually need is not the fix-it behavior. Usually it's something else. That validation, the support, maybe they need some structure, maybe it's emotional support, maybe it's healing through with a therapist and a life coach. Maybe the need is actually different. But what the message does is it tells them, you don't know what you need. I do. It increases feelings of loneliness. It increases feelings of shame and guilt. Because on top of that, now, if the person who has tried and tried and tried to get all the things right, to honor God, to serve God, and life keeps falling apart, or people have taken advantage of them, or they've been in church hurt situations, or emotionally destructive relationships, whether it's in church and with parents, with children, with spouses, they've tried and tried and tried to do things, and now they feel like a failure because that somehow they still miss something and they still can't get it right because now they're feeling frustrated and angry, and that doesn't even feel okay. They may already feel like it doesn't feel okay. And then somebody says, you just need to pray. You just need to pray more. Oh my gosh, guess what? Now they really don't feel like they can just be okay. The nervous system gets on high alert. It starts to get more defensive, more protective. That is the initial reactive response from all of us to protect ourselves. We can do this differently. We can show up differently for one another and for ourselves. Those messages of you just need to do this, are not the answers that we need. Your experiences are valid. Your experiences are real. Now, our interpretation of experiences can get off kilter. And that is when it's helpful to have somebody who can give us a different perspective. But to be able to even see that perspective, sometimes the first thing that we need is that calming presence from someone else. When I was at the ranch and we were knee deep in constant activity, and that's where we were fostering with all the children, and it was an intense season, and physically demanding, emotionally demanding, spiritually demanding, up the wazoo. Like, I can't even express how much. It would take me a long time. But coming back, there were times that I was highly reactive. My nervous system was so jacked up. My fight or flight system had been on high alert for so long. And this is just the 14 months at the ranch. Think about somebody who's been dealing with something for years or decades, that nervous system on high alert of, no, it's not okay. I can't even feel okay to be me, to be me with some faults or some failures. And is it possible to be accepted? Oh, I'm going to tell everybody it's possible for them to feel accepted and loved, but I'm struggling feeling it. Then you come along and tell me I just need to pray more. Oh, now the burden that I already have feels heavier. That burden feels worse. When I was highly reactive, there were times when people did say, you just need to trust God. You just need to claim the scriptures. You just need to quote the scriptures. You just need to do this. And you know what it did? It left me in three places. One, feeling more alone. Two, feeling bad about who I was, which was actually the opposite of the healing path God was bringing me on, to feel accepted and loved and to really receive what God had for me. And it also put me in a state, back into the state that I was trying to get out of, which was, it's up to you to make your faith stronger and be better. If you want to actually experience God, that's all up to you. You've got to do this, and this is how you do it, and you follow these steps. And if you get it wrong, you miss out. That's not the message that was helpful. When others listen, and when I expressed honest emotion, honest thoughts, and others joined me in understanding, like, I'm getting tears even now thinking about it. Like, I felt seen and I felt loved. And from there, I was able to take that in as God's love for me, that he was still seeing me. That when I would hear other people tell me, God sees you, when they meant it, like I really felt like they meant it, then I would have experiences that tied with that. That helped it go deeper. My nervous system changed, my emotional health changed, my spiritual connection to God shifted. And today it is vastly different and just more at peace with God than ever before. And I have loved God since I was a little girl. I remember, like, just taking walks and singing and talking to God, or crying out to God in pain and hurt and loneliness and all those different things. But being able to take in more of the reality of God's love through my time with God, but also through my time with other people who showed that to me, world of difference. So this message of you just need to can bring people to defeat instead of actually experiencing victory with Christ. There's no just. It's you telling them what you think that they need, or others telling you, if you're the one that's receiving this message, what they think you need. You, as the person who has experienced hurt or harm, or who is struggling and doesn't know how to make it through the next day, you have the opportunity to explore, what is it you actually need? Do I need connection with another person? Do I need comfort? Do I need someone to validate or to even identify with my story so I don't feel crazy and alone in the story? So some of these things I teach in the Cultivate Together community, and I've actually just added a bonus worksheet that is currently available in Unleashed Sheets. I'm working on it on the printed version now. I'll be updating the digital version soon to have it included. But it is a chart that just highlights emotional needs, relational needs, physical needs, and spiritual needs. Because when someone asks you, what do you need? Or I'm asking you, rather than somebody else say, you just need to, my question is, what is it you need? What do you think you might need? And can you explore that need? What's it like to get that need met? What's it like to even think of having the need? And then inviting God into that process, whew, totally different experience. And that's what I encourage people to do with Unleash Sheets, to explore these areas that God's already like stirring up and just be you, honest, vulnerable, raw, and real before God, and experience more of the true God that loves you and sees you and cares about you right where you're at. And he will help you take the next steps. He will help you move into that place of change and growth and healing. But not because he's telling you this is what you have to do, but because he wants to draw you into a place where you can experience freedom and health and joy and experience more of the fullness of him and the fullness of his life within you. That is my prayer and hope for all of us. Take care, everybody. If this has been helpful for you, I hope that you will share it with other people. If you enjoy this series, make sure that you've clicked the video playlist. There are several videos on different phrases about things like forgive and forget, let go and let God, fears of liars. There's various different phrases that I've been covering in this series. So you can check those out in this YouTube channel. And if you'd like to make sure that you know when they come back, are live, new ones, make sure to not only subscribe, but to change the subscription to the button that, or like you have to go up to the bell that says all for all notifications. That'll let you know when you open up YouTube, you'll get a notification that there's a new video. So you don't have to go searching for it every time. You'll get notified if that's of interest to you. So I hope that is helpful and would love for you to also share that and subscribe and let me know what is helpful content, because I want to keep bringing it to you if it's something that will help you experience more of God and more of God's life within you. Take care, all.